But now we have to discuss the Copa America coming up. It is an exciting tournament when you look at so many storylines entering it. Argentina, the defending World Cup champions, the last hurrah for Di Maria. Messi hasn't came out and said this is his last tournament, but there is a good likely Lionel Scaloni. This is potentially his last tournament with Argentina. You saw the comments he made earlier regarding, being like wanting to move on, not being able to give everything and, really talking about his future. And there's just a lot of storyline. Brazil, they want to, they want to start off this new cycle as they build this World Cup after a horrible start to World Cup qualifying. There's many stories going all around. Marcelo Bielsa in Uruguay. There's a lot. But, look, we are an American network, so I think the biggest of all storylines is this U.S. men's national team. This U.S. men's national team that is one of the most talented national team they've ever had. When you look at the likes playing all across the week in Europe, Timothy Weah, Christian Pulisic, Yunus Musa, Giovanni Reina, Weston McKennie, Joe Scally, should I keep going? There's so many players playing at the top levels of top flight football in Europe, and they're all they're a talented group of individuals. My main concern about them has to be their manager. I don't think this manager Greg Berhalter is a manager that makes his team better than the sum of their parts. I think a brilliant manager makes their teams better than the sum of their parts. So I think the U.S. men's national team are kind of in the same position as a England national team with Gareth Southgate, a manager that's not to the caliber of the players that they have. That's what I really think in both situations. I think the U.S. soccer team is a very talented group. Now look, if you want to look at it objectively, when you compare their talent to other teams, they are the fourth, maybe fifth place team in this summer's Copa America. Just because, look, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, those are just teams that are just, they're just better than the U.S. But then you look at the likes of, a Colombia who are on a good form, who have some quality players, an Ecuador that also played very, very well in the World Cup, despite the fact that they couldn't get it out of the group stage. They played a very, very good World Cup, especially the first two games. When you look at that, this is a Copa America. That will be a difficult task for the U.S. men's national team if they want to make some sort of run. They're paired in a group with Uruguay, Bolivia, Panama. That's a group that they should easily get out of. But the main kicker of that is, the group D, the group right ahead of the U.S., Uruguay, Panama, Bolivia group is Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, Costa Rica, which we will assume is Brazil and Colombia that finish first or second. So whether or not U.S. wins the group or not, they are going to be tasked with a difficult game going up against either Brazil or Colombia, just based on the sheer talent that they have. But the U.S. does have the support of a home nation at this. They are the host of this Copa America. Now, if I think they go up against a big team like a Brazil, a Colombia, Mexico, and Argentina, I think they're more than capable of getting outnumbered. And in fact, I will predict the stadiums will not be in their favor. But you're still playing it on a home soil. It is grounds that you're comfortable with. So, and this is the last major tournament for the U.S. men's national team to really prepare for the World Cup. So, huge tournament for them, huge tournament for Berhalter. Wow, I went a lot talking about the U.S. I don't have that much time left on this segment. 12, 24, 36, 48. Yeah, I only got 4 minutes left. But there's still other storylines here. The Mexico national team, they're going to kind of go young in this Copa America. They've really struggled in the last few years. One of the worst Mexico teams I've ever seen in my lifetime, talent-wise. And they were getting rid of these old guys that really failed this Mexico national teams in many Nations League and multiple World Cups now. So they want to go with a very, very young group. This is going to be a hungry group, an energetic group, and a group coming in with no sort of expectations. At least it's kind of, let's just see with them. I think that kind of makes them deadly in this Copa America, honestly, going with this young team that they're going with. And the team, they want to bring in guys that they believe are going to help them within the next, couple of years. And they don't deem guys like Memo Ochoa and and Raul Jimenez and Hector Lozano, they want to, kind of throw them out, which I do not blame, because they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it's leading to constant failures. 3 times Nations League lost. A Gold Cup, a horrible Gold Cup where they lost to the USC team. Last Gold Cup, scraping by and winning it, despite, the US not sending their best teams and all that. And then World Cup qualifiers really struggling against Mexico and Canada. I think this is a very good opportunity for them. I think this is also a good opportunity for an Argentina to continue to enhance Messi's legacy, for them to continue the good form that they've been on for the last 3-4 years. They are the favorites in this tournament just because of their relative success in the past, in the last couple of years. Messi potentially his swan song, Di Maria definitely his swan song. Argentina, it's obvious why they're a big headline. Uruguay, they're a team that are trying to create something new with Marcelo Bielsa, who plays beautiful attacking football, roulette football, dangerous football for both sides of it. They will concede a lot of goals, Uruguay, but they will score a lot of goals as well. That's just how the Marcelo Bielsa way is. They're gonna press high. They're gonna create many opportunities. They're gonna put pressure on the other team. They're not gonna be afraid to, press in high up in crazy areas. They're not gonna be afraid to put numbers forward. That's just the Marcelo Bielsa way. They play roulette football. So, no. And then they have talented players. They have Federico Valverde. They have Ugarte. They have Nunez. They got Fernando Pelestri. They got Araujo. They have good players. Because, that's just what it is. In Uruguay, the amount of, talented players that they're able to develop with, in my opinion, not in my opinion, but with a miniature amount of population is something, in my opinion, that should be studied. And then you have the Brazil national team. They had a horrible start to the World Cup qualifiers. Now they've brought in Junior Dorvial, and they had a very good window while beating England and drawing against Spain in Europe. They got guys like Endrick that scored multiple goals, and they had a 17-year-old. They have Vinicius and Rodrigo that's had brilliant Champions League campaigns that showed their ability to be great on the counter and clinical. They have a Gabriel Magalhaes who's playing some of his best football in his career, playing very good defensively for Arsenal. They got a Premier League array of midfielders that have all been on very, very good form. When you look at Douglas Luiz, Andres Pereira, Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paquetá. So they have quality, but Brazil is always going to have quality. They just really need to take that, they really need to start building for this World Cup cycle and, take back the Copa America, which was taken from them in the final last year by Argentina at home. I don't think Brazil fans want to look at a second Copa America title going against Argentina going to Argentina when you look at the fierce rivalry between the two.